Hey guys, Pastor Tanner here. Logos 10 buying guides, diamond base packages. I'd love to see you here. Going to try to go through some of my best buys here shortly. Now I want you to know, timeline down below, if you want to navigate to whatever specific base package or hit up the description, we should have some timestamps there for you. Also, we're getting to the point where with these base packages, we're at a pretty high dollar item. We're pretty luxury when it comes to many of your resources that you're getting. We're talking about the $3,449.99 price point, okay? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because you are going to want to make sure that the really high-ticket items are ones that you want in your base package. Otherwise, you should go elsewhere because they're taking a lot of the biggest resources. Usually, most base packages by this point have given you all of the basic resources that you're going to want or need, so you're putting a lot of icing on the cake. Make sure that's icing that you like. As always, although I'm going to be highlighting resources for new users and existing users, if you're getting the package, you're getting all of those resources that I list. Let's talk about some of my favorites. All right, for starter diamond, we're just looking at broader biblical study. That's all we're doing. We're just kind of broadening our horizons, getting us a little bit deeper in some of the resources. We might be duplicating resources at this point when commentary sets or other things, but for the most part, we're adding on things that are just going to flesh out the library for a second opinion. For new purchasers, we're looking at the Preacher's Commentary. This is 35 volumes. This originally used to be known as the Communicator's Commentary series, I believe, and it's a good one to reference. Again, you're not lighting the world on fire with this one when it comes to addition to your base package, and what I mean is you've probably already got these bases covered, but if you like consulting a second or a third opinion, I think you're going to like this resource a lot. Also, existing owners upgrading, check out the New Studies in Biblical Theology. This is a set they've been adding on to year after year. I want to say it used to be 30 volumes or something like that. Now it's up to 53 volumes. All of these monographs are fantastic. I just love digging into them. Oftentimes, you're getting cutting-edge research on the academic front. Very nice to see. All right, Anglican Diamond. Here we're looking more at critical commentaries. Several other packages up until now have added on a critical commentary set here or there, but Anglican's jumping in with both feet at the diamond level. For new purchasers, this has got to be the International Critical Commentary, 6 to 5 volumes. They've been publishing these things forever, and you're just going to love digging into all of these commentaries. A lot of them are very academic. You're going to be able to cite these in papers, and nobody's going to bat an eye. They're really, really good for that. You know, sometimes their discussions aren't going to be as helpful for sermon prep, but oftentimes you'll find a very nice insight here. So I think you're going to like the ICC. Existing owners upgrading. I'm looking at the Apollos Old Testament commentary. This is 11 volumes, and Apollos is to the Old Testament what Pillar is to the New Testament, essentially. That's what they're trying to do, make a similar resource for the Old Testament. I love Pillar. I reference those commentaries almost as my go-to exegetical commentaries every week, so I like these Apollos volumes as well. Haven't had opportunity to dig into them as in depth, but I really enjoy that they're being offered, and I think you're going to really like them. All right, for Baptist Diamond, we got a research boost, especially for Old Testament word study. In the past, these Baptist base packages have sometimes focused instead on maybe a more specific individual or a systematic theology emphasis, but here you're getting that research boost. I really like it at this level for Baptists. For new purchasers, Theological Dictionary of the Old Testament, 17 volumes, must have if you're digging through word studies in the Old Testament and you just want to get a better understanding of where these words have come from, how they're being used in contemporary literature, etc. Think you're going to really like it. Existing owners upgrading. I want to highlight a resource that's not as well known right now. This is the Evangelical Biblical Theology Commentary. I think 7 volumes are out at this point. It's relatively new. I want you to know I, preaching through Hebrews, have consulted Thomas Schreiner's volume multiple times throughout my sermon preaching, and I really like what he brings to the table. This is a really neat set where they're trying to focus on biblical theological themes in a commentary. I think you're going to enjoy them. All right, guys, Lutheran Diamond is focused on word-level original language research. Whether you're doing translations, whether you're digging in a little bit more academically, you want to do those word studies, this is a really nice package. Let me just highlight some of the resources to that end. New purchasers, a couple of resources here in the commentary front. NIGTC, I've talked about this one before. It's only 13 volumes, but man, do they go in-depth into the Greek. So if you want to be doing some translation work or be digging out of the Greek yourself, this is a really good one. UBS handbooks, United Bible Society handbooks. These are 66 volumes, okay? Oftentimes, these are touted as being used for translation work. So if you're translating out of the original languages into maybe a new language or your native language, you're going to want these. Now, you have great English translations, but oftentimes in your sermon prep, maybe in your academic studies, you're doing some of your own translation work. I mean, these are going to be great resources for you to consult. Existing owners upgrading, I've got to highlight it because so much of your value is tied up in these two sets. This is the Theological Dictionary, the Old Testament, and the Theological Dictionary, the New Testament. 27 volumes packed together. I mean, man, these are cutting edge resources and they're all here in one package. I think you're going to enjoy digging into the word level study at Lutheran. Messianic Jewish Diamond has a strong commentary and topical study emphasis. That's where these offerings are pointed towards. For new purchasers, I like the Anchor Yale Bible Commentary. This is 92 volumes, well-known critical commentary set, and there are a lot of volumes in this one. This is similar to ICC in many regards, but it's 92 volumes. I mean, you're digging into commentaries and academic research, academic study. Some of the volumes are more dated at this point, but it's a really fantastic set. Also, guys, I want to highlight that Messianic Jewish at this point is doubling down on mobile ed, okay? This is Logos's own version of having academic and seminary level studies right within the program. And if you're not going to be using those resources, you might want to pass on this one because there's some value being lost in resources you're not going to use. Here for mobile ed, we've got Matthew in its Jewish context. Makes perfect sense, perfect resource for Messianic Jewish, but just make sure you're going to reference mobile ed. On the flip side, I love mobile ed. I try to use them as often as I can. You've kind of got a guided study rubric for any topic that you're digging into, and you're able to do seminary from your own home. I mean, if you are using mobile ed, you might want to jump in because these are great resources. Existing owners upgrading. I don't want you to miss the Old Testament in New Testament collection, okay? This is 21 volumes put out by T&T Clark, but it's that relationship between Old Testament and New Testament. And let's be honest, from the Messianic Jewish perspective, you're often dealing with these arguments and these disagreements. I think you're going to like these monographs. You can reference each one pertaining to your specific topic, and I think you're going to enjoy digging in. Methodist and Wesleyan Diamond, here we go. This is topical study and lesson emphasis. So if you like digging into a specific topic or you're going to be putting together lessons, you might want to check this one out. For new purchasers, the Exegetical Summary Series, 34 volumes. I love these volumes. These are must consults almost every single week because what they have done is they've read a bunch of commentaries themselves, and then they have put together all of the primary questions you should be asking exegetically when it comes to the text. You can read through and see a quick reference as to which commentaries are actually supporting certain positions. And then if you have those commentaries, you can jump to them for deeper study. Love the Exegetical Summary Series. You're going to like them. Also, existing owners upgrading the Life Guide Bible Studies collection, 139 volumes. These are great little Bible studies for putting on with your church family. Maybe you have a small group. You can get these together and go through them week after week with the lessons. They're very easy and straightforward. You can do them yourselves. I really like these little volumes, and a lot of people don't recognize their value. But I think they're the perfect sort of thing for somebody who's a Logos user because you're going to be digging in deep yourself. Also, Methodist and Wesleyan at this level, I got to point out the Oxford Handbooks, 26 volumes. I laugh because you know that I've been pointing these ones out at every single base package whenever I see them. I do that because I love them so much. I really do. You could do much worse in your personal study and growth and development than picking up one of these Oxford Handbooks and reading it cover to cover, all of the articles. This is just going to give you so much insight into that particular topic, and you're going to be able to hold on a conversation with just about anyone when it comes to that issue. All right, guys, Orthodox Diamond has an Old Testament commentary boost. That's what jumped out to me. For new purchasers, you get the Forms of Old Testament Literature, FOTL, 19 volumes. This one isn't included in that many base packages, so just check out some of the sample pages and see if you like it, but I think it's a good reference. Shoring that up also is the Continental Commentary, also 19 volumes. Some of these are a little bit more dated. I think they're sometimes associated with the Hermeneia Commentary series, and these are all focused on the Old Testament. Existing owners upgrading, Pontifical Biblical Institute of Ancient Language Studies, okay? This is a very interesting package, and so just go ahead and look at this specific resource and see if it's something that you're interested in. Pentecostal and Charismatic Diamond, what are you getting? Well, you're getting a well-rounded boost to many other resources. I feel like they're just shoring up, maybe plugging some holes around the package to kind of fill it out, make sure you're getting something well-rounded. For new purchasers, check out the Greg Laurie Sermon Archive. Talked about Skip Heitzig in the last video. Greg Laurie is another name that's very well known, and I love all of these sermon archives. They kind of serve as their own homiletical, devotional style commentaries. So great to dig through these sermons. Existing owners upgrading. Couple of interesting resources here. Encyclopedia of Ancient Christianity. I was smitten with this resource when it first came out. It does something that not a lot of other resources do. So if you're interested in ancient Christianity and you want to dig through a lot of topics and articles about that, look no further than the Encyclopedia of Ancient Christianity. Also, we've got the International Critical Commentary volumes available at this level, okay? This is the ICC. Again, this is so big at this point that it takes up a lot of your value in the base package, so I try to point it out. Just know that that's what you're getting here. All right, Reformed Diamond is focused on a research boost for very specific topics, okay? I'm just going to be highlighting a few names here or a few topics, and if you have interest in those, this might be your package. For new purchasers upgrading, got the name of Van Til here, all right? Cornelius Van Til is a name that you either love or you hate. He inspired much of presuppositional apologetics. If you have any interest in that, you probably have some interest in Van Til, but otherwise you might want to pass. Also, guys, Barth's Church Dogmatics, okay? The name of Karl Barth is one that's really well known. A lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him, but he is a force to be reckoned with. You're getting a lot of your value in this set in his Church Dogmatics, so check those out. Make sure you're going to be using them. For existing owners upgrading, I just want to point you towards a couple of things. New Studies in Biblical Theology. I've already referenced this work in a base package before, but I really like the New Studies in Biblical Theology. They're really getting up there, 50 plus volumes at this point. These are all great resources that you're going to enjoy. Also, guys, more Augustine is being offered in this base package. As you know, many reformers reference Augustine, so here's an opportunity to go to the original sources. Okay, Verbum Diamond, Greek original language, and more of what you love. More than any other base package I've seen, it looks to me like Verbum is just raising the standard across the board, and they keep doing that with incremental bump ups. This is what you're getting as well with Diamond. New purchasers, check out the Aramaic Bible. These are individual targums that have been translated into English, okay? Now, some have interest in the Aramaic Bible, but others are never going to reference this work. And it's pretty expensive, so make sure you want to use it if you're going to be jumping in at Verbum Diamond. New purchasers are also going to want to check out the Septuagint with Logos Morphology. Existing owners upgrading, Erdman's Dictionary of Early Judaism, okay? Focusing in on that original context, I think is going to help you as you dig in. Also, Ancient Christian Text Commentary. I love these commentary sets that essentially compile what the early church fathers thought about specific verses. Now, you're getting them out of context, so you want to go to the original sources, but they're a great jumping off point. All right, guys, what is my best buy in Diamond and my runner-up? Best buy, I've got to give it to Reformed here, okay? I really like the Studies in Biblical Theology set. I think that's value added, and it's jam-packed. You can be reading through all of those books cover to cover and still just scratch the surface of many of these biblical theological discussions. Not only that, Karl Barth, Augustine, Van Til, you got to like these names for what they bring to the table, but if you like them, there's tons of value packed in this set. For the runner-up, Pentecostal and Charismatic are bringing the heat. I really like the Sermon Archive series. I'm glad they're including some of them, and they have some very strong commentary offerings at Diamond. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you can get the most out of your Logos 10 Bible software. Stick around for more videos to help you do just that.